Hi, Sean. Good to see you.
Hello.
I was trying something different to throw you off.
You did throw me off. I was like, oh, okay, I'm clicking on stuff.
What's happening? Why am I on? Um, yeah, I was changing up the opening a little bit because I'm like, this is our like joint show. I shouldn't be like, hey, Sean's coming. I should be
Hey,
like,
Sean,
show up. Yeah. I have to use
welcome everyone to True Tuesday.
on a Tuesday.
Yes, actually, it is on a Tuesday.
Actually, on a Tuesday.
We have done it.
There is a issue with there's one of our friends popped in. Oh, on YouTube. Good. Two of our friends. So there is an issue with streaming on X right now. I just did a show with Jenny Moonstone like a couple hours ago, and it like wouldn't show the live. It showed my little glowing I'm live on my like profile, but it didn't post the stream live like it should from StreamYard. So I'm not sure. They put a notice that said we're having issues with streaming too.
They did for World Blockchain Roundtable last week too.
Oh, same thing.
Remember, William said we're
Yes, because he was seeing that same message. I wonder if that's from some kind of suppression from people being able to share live videos with what's going on in the world right now. Because if mainstream media wants to keep the narrative and rule the narrative, then what would be the easiest way to do it? Well, stop people from streaming, individuals from streaming locally.
But they hate X and Elon because, you know what I mean? It's usually against whatever the other guys are. So,
I don't think Elon really exists, so I don't buy into that.
But that's still the modus operandi.
He's part of the show.
You still look at how terrible things are in Britain and the EU and whatever. So she usually goes against the grain of whatever mainstream media is. So I can understand it on other platforms, but
yeah, big State of the Union is happening tonight around 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern.
We in the usual.
I don't know. They're going to be streaming it on Truth Social. That's what I got a tweet or some information about that pushed out. I think on America's Voice Network, which is actually military. They're going to be streaming it as well. So we'll see.
It was, we talked about this last week, but Greg answered a lot of questions. It is like a required thing. It's not like a, fireside chat kind of thing. It is a required.
Oh, the State of the Union is actually required.
Yeah, it's like a part of the government, like accountability probably, or transparency. I'm sure it falls under those things, but because I asked, because Greg he used to be a lawyer, but he used to be a lawyer in government, so he does know a lot about that stuff.
Oh, I didn't realize it was in government specifically. No wonder he hated them all so much.
Yeah, he was it Kansas, and maybe it was one of the blockchain-y, friendly ones, because he was trying to. I think that's why he kind of got out of it, because he tried to bring blockchain and everything into government, and he really, hit the walls. So I think he got pretty pissed.
That's one of my suggestions for March. Well, I thought I was making suggestions for March. I totally misunderstood. Right now is the voting. So if you watch WBRT, go to den.social, find the World Blockchain Roundtable layer, and click just click your governance vote button, and you should be voting on what we're going to be talking about all in March. I misunderstood and started posting themes for March under one of the headings, but apparently none of that will count. So I don't know. I was trying to hurry before we jumped on together. So
I'm just going to ask you something. What were you just talking about?
The State of the Union, Greg and the State of the Union.
No, I was going to ask you what you thought about something, but
the AI, or not the AI, but the Twitter wasn't working. We talked. That was how we kind of opened.
No, I just you were saying something, you mentioned it, and I was like, oh, what do you think of? But then I forgot.
Sorry.
It's all right.
It'll come around. It'll come around. So what are your thoughts on, I know you've been talking about, you have been talking about, Cliff posted this today and it hit my radar that, my gosh, you had clued me in about the CCP offices that are actually in every police office or every big city or something. I'm not sure how you.
No, they're so it used to be all the way back to when you were Roman that if you were a citizen of this country, that country had your back. America was really big on that. You could go over something, someone kidnapped you or something, which now it's like a standard practice. You go, like, especially Mexico and down south, it's like they kidnap you. You can get insurance for it, and then your family pays, your company pays, whatever. It's like a regular thing.
Okay.
The government would freak out, and they would say, "Hey, we're going to do something about it," and then that government would fix it because they're like, "Hey, America's going to bomb our oil reserves or some shit because you took this guy." So it was a kind of like a armed society is a polite society. You know what I mean? So every country kind of looked out for its own. And it was, and that's one thing like the United Nations and other things were supposed to kind of do. But anyway, it's not like that now. It's a lot more Wild Westy.
Yeah.
But CCP, they have, especially if they like South Africa, fallen. Canada, probably now things are coming out, but it's probably
That's
fallen.
what Cliff was talking about specifically, was Canada and
let's look at South Africa. So South Africa, China said, "Hey, we have a lot of expatriates, people that have left China, got out of there and went to South Africa. But we have a lot of them. We still love them and care about them, even though they defected. We also have a lot of like workers and ambassadors and all this other stuff there. So we just want to send have some special offices for like extra diplomatic stuff and police, just for for protection for our citizens. And we're not messing with you guys. It's your country. We should, for our citizens, because there are a lot of areas where there's mainly Chinese people. Hey, look at Chinatown. Look at everywhere does it. So South Africa, they have like a lot of, and they're not police. They're just military, in a different uniform. But they've moved in, about hundreds of basically troops into the country. And also, you got to look at like intelligence and just look at how messed up South Africa is, how chaotic. You can use that word, a much nicer word. How chaotic it is. Everyone's killing everyone, and black people are killing white, farmers, and the white people are consolidating into no black communities and towns. It's all, if you take a step back and you're like, hey, maybe someone's working that. Maybe it's not the big bad CIA. Maybe it's actually the other military force that's there and that's poised, and it's a
literal infiltration of another country.
And so Canada has huge Chinese population, huge rich Chinese population. That's another thing. Canada, very, very wealthy Chinese people are there, and have their own communities, their own towns and part of towns. Yeah, I'm friends with a guy. He Alibaba, basically all the e-commerce, he invented the software for.
Interesting.
Super, super rich dude. I worked with him on projects. He's in Canada. A lot of his friends are all there. It's anyway, it's massive. So I'm sure the CCP can do that a lot easier than they could here. But they even tried it. They've done it here and got called out, but they had done a lot of stuff. We, it was like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, we showed that actual military base in New York City, not state, city.
Well, then they were owning a lot of our ports and managing that. And so that, I mean, I would think that's a huge national security issue as well.
But see, that's like, yeah, but that's not in your face. That's not,
Yeah.
you know,
That's where every day people are
yeah,
not
that's,
seeing.
you
Yeah.
expect that kind of thing. You know, that's the game, I guess. But this was actual, you know, like troops and cops and, you know, kind of boots on the ground, not shadows, you know, in the corridors kind of thing. So yeah, and now it's I think you want to talk about how it's coming out in Canada.
Well, yeah, in Canada, and then I was going to jump to. I noticed this guy who went to. Where is it? I think in New Jersey, and it's called the Shahram Police, and actually it's a Jewish police force funded by our taxpayer dollars. And they were actually videos where like he was being basically followed by them, and they said, yeah, we're just following you to tell people no one has to talk to you. And the fact that like our tax dollars are going to pay for this Jewish police department, that like it's bizarre to me. So I was, I think was the CCP stories, was that a distraction? Is that true? How many other countries have police forces that in the US? How common is that?
It's not allowed. In fact, under Obama, he allowed some UN troops to be deployed as security at the Super Bowl. And that, I think they even wore plain clothes, or they wore the security uniforms of, the
Right, like
they
their
were,
blue hats.
but that was not allowed. It was a huge, huge thing. I had to apologize for that. I think they did it under the guise like they were doing it for free, or that they didn't have to pay for private security because they had these guys, but it was it's not allowed because they're foreign troops.
They're doing you a favor,
and that's the thing. They're not foreign troops. They say they are not the military. They're just security guards and police to protect their own citizens.
They're not military. Okay, so that leads into, have you seen these people talking about how, I can't remember who it is, I think some Massey or somebody's trying to start a law where Trump can hire mercenaries like retired SEALs or Marines or whatever to go in and fight these cartel, because cartel in Mexico is not the Mexican government. It's we would not be at war with Mexico. It would be private entities, mercenaries going in and fighting cartel, which is a private entity. It's not the Mexican military. That was the thought.
Yeah, that's naive and silly. Serious. I mean, okay. Imagine this. Another country sends in mercenaries into our country, but it's not them. It's not them. It's they're private, and they're not going after our military. They're going after private, things like Black Lives Matter or whatever, because they're England. Look at all the crap that we're talking about in Europe and Britain. So they want to send someone over here to talk. People that are saying
locking people up
you're locking people up for praying and stuff, and they're breaking our laws. That's what they actually remember. That was a thing. They're like, hey, these Americans are breaking our laws. If they come to here, to visit, we should arrest them in the airport. And they technically could. And everybody joked about, hey, if we can't go to England or Britain or EU even, we'll get arrested when we get off the plane because we were posting memes that these people would get arrested for if they're posting. So that's the same thing. We can't send mercenaries, or our government can't. private citizens, it's a different thing. Watch Uncommon Valor and Gene Hackman and all that. It's different. It's a different
Interesting.
However, if you have followed the Mexican cartel thing, it is the government. It's not a private organization or anything, man. Thank you. I'm about to say what you just said. Did you hear the telephone call?
I don't know what telephone call you're talking about.
Oh, if you heard the telephone call, you would.
No, I haven't heard a telephone call that was shocking.
Well, this is the guy that killed the head of that cartel, right?
Oh, okay.
The phone call, he calls the chief of police. So it's recorded, the recorded line. He calls the police station to the chief of police. And he's like, it was in Spanish, but I have never seen, because I had to read the transcription. I'd never seen so many cuss words. He's like, you fucking piece of shit. Why are your troops attacking my people? And he's going off, right? Pissed. Tony Montana, angry. This is the chief of police.
Tony Montoya.
This is the chief of police of this giant city. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Yes, sir. I know, sir. I don't understand, sir. I'm sorry, sir. He's like, you tell them to pull back. Yes, sir. I've already sent the order, sir. I'm very sorry, sir.
Wow.
I mean, sir, it was like I was back in medieval times, and it was a squire talking to the king.
Yeah.
Sir, so many times. And the tone, this guy was like massively subservient. And he said, I'm going to kill. I know I have locations right now of 30 of your men and you. I will kill you. I'm going to kill everyone that you're connected. I'm going to kill your dog. Exact words. I'm going to even kill your dog. And the chief of police, yes, sir. I understand, sir. Yes, sir. I know that, sir.
Wow.
You pigs take my money. You're fine for that. But you don't. He goes, look, either you're working with me or I kill you. That's it. I understand, sir. That's the head of the government. And the president.
Yeah.
The president.
Well, the president is refusing to accept any help or support.
Worse than that, the president of the country came out and said, for us to use force against cartel members is a violation of human rights. So we will not use force against cartel members. They're just
what?
In our own country. We can't do that. Everyone is like, when they heard the phone call, they're like, oh, that's the phone call. She sounds just like the dude on the phone.
Yeah.
So it is. And that's the president. That's the top. So you can go down. That's it. It's about money. Now, that's something that's interesting because I heard this. Because this is happening, there is something going on, whether it's we're going to pay to have a stable government, whether we're going to pay to have the cartels out of there. It's about money. And there's something coming in that's causing this to happen, which I am worried that we're going to move in. We are going to be, I grew up in Europe, and I grew up in Europe that doesn't exist anymore. It was very American. There were little American towns because there were so many American troops. That's been cut down by like 80%, but it was hundreds of thousands in an area where there's millions. So we're talking, like a sizable percentage, just Americans everywhere. And we brought all of our stuff there. It was fast food, everything, I think with a new, Don Rowe doctrine, we're going to move into South America. I think we're going to have bases at Venezuela,
Oh, we already have bases.
I mean, big presence though,
Yeah.
And we've been putting, as in Texas, have been putting big bases in the middle of nowhere all around the border for border protection. They're big bases. They're big bases with movie theaters, with hospitals, with psychiatric hospitals, with all these things that are for people to live. They're like those towns in Europe. Little. The bases are massive, and they're like little U.S. towns. And that's what they're building out there. When they were building it, it's like, oh, it's for because all these, troops coming in National Guard from different places. We don't want to keep them in hotels. It's actually cheaper to build this. And I'm like, yeah, but they don't need 2 movie theaters, and they don't need, you know what I mean? They don't need a Burger King and a McDonald's, and this is living kind of thing. And I think that's what we're doing. We're moving like the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Europe is going to be is America, the Americas.
I think the timing of this is interesting, as Gazoo's saying silver will fix this, and Tom's talking about his trip to Cabo years ago. And, Trump said on DJT Day, when oil went negative and we took a bunch of oil for Mexico, and he said, don't worry, they'll pay us back later in another way. And now the COMEX is short silver, and all these longs are standing for delivery, or however that works. I'm probably using the wrong words, but they're supposed to come out with like 400 million ounces right now, and they only have less than 100 million ounces. Well, they went into Venezuela. Was that why? Was it to pull some of that silver or take possession of that silver? Because he said that we closed the door, the metal door. We closed the metal door was the exact words that Trump used, because they were getting ready to meet with China. And he said, but we closed the metal door. Well, is he talking about the metals door? And then now if there's this engagement or, warring over strength, in Mexico, is that to secure the silver in Mexico as well for trade? Or
if you look at especially the evil entities that rule our country, like Williams, CIA, whoever, they don't want us to not have our drugs. They don't want us to not have our fentanyl and heroin and everything. They want us to have plenty of access to that. So for them to do something that interrupts our drug use, it has to be for a lot of money and for a big deal.
That's a great point.
It's
and it affects food too, because a lot of our food comes from Mexico too.
And they're also using it to point the finger at Canada.
Oh.
They're like, our southern border, we've locked it down and kicked so much ass that they're going around it, and they're just bringing it in north of the border, and they're putting avocados up there. They're bringing in avocados. See, there you go. Now I'm that's really, that makes sense. Yeah.
No, really.
So of course they're doing it for drugs.
Yeah,
they're doing it for avocados. Car parts are going like just from Canada to Mexico to Canada, and then go to into the United States. It's so stupid.
Is that to avoid tariff?
No, I guess it's because it's cheaper. I don't know, but like I remember so long ago eating a little fruit cup, and it said picked in Guatemala or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then packaged in Asia, where I forget the country. And then I bought it at HEB in Texas.
That's concerning.
I was like, you really had to send the fruit across the earth and to get put in the cup to send it back to like 100 miles, 200 miles from where it was picked? Really? Mm-hmm. It didn't make any sense to me. I took a picture of it and put it on Facebook, but it was
that's where, like, if you don't believe human trafficking is real, and for all the way they exploit workers, in these
something, asking why. I don't get this. If I send you something, you sent me that record, right? If I send you something, it costs like a decent amount of money.
Yeah, shipping is expensive.
Yeah, there you go. Shipping is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But
and it just went up again.
But I can buy some on Amazon for $1.50, and it'll be overnighted here, 2-day overnight. How? For free? That terrible pharmacy where I got that medication.
Yeah.
Still, it was just a flat fee of like $4 for them to send my medication. So I'm like, why is it so expensive for 90% of everyone? But even a little pharmacy, can send it from and get some. Only charge me $4. How come that's if I took that little pill bottle and I put it in the same thing and I brought it down there, it would be like $8, $9. You know what I mean? So it doesn't. Why? Why? I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I do not know. There's a lot of things I don't know.
Also, I am Fran. What if there's a big military base and it's really a mine? What if they want to put underground, facilities, but it's just mining silver?
Oh, here is something I wanted to discuss with you. This is so a Sean topic, 100%. Okay. Have you seen this one yet?
To be one of the most unbelievable
For that
things
guy,
in
yeah.
history. What if I told you the Jack Hughes goal was 46 years in the making?
What if I told you that Jack Hughes was cut from Team USA?
This is fucking insane. Now, Team USA wins gold on the 46th anniversary of the Miracle on Ice.
It's absolutely mind-blowing.
Everyone knows the movie Miracle. Luke, you know Miracle?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what happens in the 51st minute of Miracle?
Something absolutely fucking crazy.
Nothing to see here, just the boys practicing.
Just the boys out there getting ready for the Olympics.
Unbelievable movie.
Best movie of all time.
Now, right there, can you tell me the name that was just cut?
Did that say Jack Hughes?
Can you tell me the name on the tape of the locker being ripped off?
Jack Hughes.
Who was the man who scored the game-winning goal 46 years later?
Jack Hughes.
Jack fucking Hughes. This is unbelievable. What in the Sim shit is this?
I could have swore this was AI. Jack Hughes was cut from the 1980 Olympic hockey team just moments before the Olympics.
They didn't cut Jack Hughes. They delayed Jack Hughes.
This all started with Jack Hughes and it ended with Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes walked so Jack Hughes could run. If this doesn't give you full-body chills, I don't know what will.
Jack Hughes, born 1957, Somerville, Mass, played hockey at Harvard, came this close to winning gold. Jack Hughes, born in 2001, Olympic hero, gold medal winner.
Right out of Back to the Future.
It's on.
What are your thoughts on that? I figured you'd love that. That's such a shame.
That's a lot of weird, man.
It's a lot of weirdness.
A lot of people hate the guy now. The left hates that guy.
That he won the gold for America?
Yeah, well, he said, "I'm so proud to be an American." So great. He was like everything that the opposite of what the other, Olympic people have been saying. America great, America great. I did want to kind of just touch on this about Canada, and we're talking about going to war. I still think we're getting, at least Alberta. It's going to be a state, but once that falls, Canada falls.
Somebody made a comment and said, and I don't know if it was Trump said this, and they were quoting him, but they said if Canada had been the 51st state, they would have got the gold. And I wondered if that was a message about you would have got your gold, because then there's other people talking about there's these flights that have been happening, bringing in tons of gold into the U.S. And Switzerland is dumping gold like crazy. So is there some kind of redistribution of gold right now? And if Canada had chosen us instead of China, they would have gotten the gold? Or
the thing, okay, so also one of the movie, how it's going. So about remember the national anthem.
National Lampoon.
National anthem.
National, yes,
Hockey
I know.
game.
Yeah.
Hockey game Canada a year ago or so. A few months ago. Remember they booed?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they booed U.S. national anthem. They were making fun of it, and then the hockey team beat the shit out of them. The U.S. hockey team beat the shit out of them.
Good.
Or it was like, the Jersey Devils or something. But so the Canadians were being dicks. And they were so mad. They're like, hey, it was just a joke and blah, blah, blah. And they were, they're like, you're being an asshole. Yeah, we're a little bit of an asshole, but you didn't have to beat everyone and violence. And look at you Americans, all violent. You just can't take the shit. So that happened. So there's a big thing. That precedent has been set.
Mm-hmm.
Canadians are no longer polite. They're kind of being dicks.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the hockey team. There's a women's team and a men's team.
Oh, okay.
Women's team, America beat the shit out of the Canadians, and now then this is a big deal. Also, within Trudeau, he said you cannot have our country.
Yeah, I heard that.
And you cannot have our sport.
Mm-hmm.
So he, also, we're the king.
They're taking it from you. Yeah, it's not forgiving.
So now that we beat them, any kind of even just like, yay, we're number one. We're great. They're like, what dicks? What pieces of shit are you rubbing it in people's faces? They've even put out stuff that silver shines just as good as gold. That is a promotion that they have.
The medals are not this year are not made from real metal.
But it's a big promo they're doing now, just trying to
That's interesting.
But the offense level globally is like, oh, how could you be such an asshole? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, it's the Olympics. You're supposed to win. You got second.
Well, they want everyone to get a participation ribbon,
But you got second place. It's supposed to be the Olympics. They're supposed to be participation. It's like, hey, it's the best of the best. Like I told you, if the NFL is fake, it's just the biggest, terriblest thing ever.
It is fake.
Which it might be fake. I think it might be. I mean, not totally, not like wrestling, but I think it might be like 25% or 20%, enough to where you can plan on things.
Mm-hmm. And people are told they got an injury this week and they're going to be sitting out, and there are contracts involved.
I think I hope it's just under that. I hope it's just certain people, certain officials, kind of in the background.
I mean, it's an entertainment industry.
I don't think you could do everybody. I think you couldn't be like wrestling, because there's too many like good people that would come out and say, no, this is, they would expose it. Too many whistleblowers. But I think you can kind of run things from, especially if you got the refs, if you have the refs in your pocket, that's enough. Kind of like it was enough to win an election with like being able to mess with it 10%, or you can mess with it. We can mess with it 8 to 9%, no problem. And then you have something come where they win by 20. It's like, oh shit, they still won. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it might be that way. I hope it's not, but if it is, then you throw it all out, because it's worthless. It's not. There is no purity to it. There's
the dumb dog. It's like going to a magic show. Like, you are going to be fooled, to be lied to be tricked.
Yeah, it's so weird, because
you
go to a magic show, and what I do, and you want to figure it out. You want to catch them, but as soon as you do, it's so sad.
Simple. Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh man. I remember when it was in Vegas, this guy was really good. And then I saw, like, just when he had this like wooden, square that he was putting stuff on, and it was like a little table he was holding. And then when he moved, I saw the little box underneath, and I was like, oh, dang. And I felt so sad, but I was staring hard, and I had to like, for like a second, I'm like, I saw it. And then I was like, oh man. But
that is a great point though, Sean. But I think that's why we're going through all this, because everybody has to see the little box under the table for themselves. Otherwise, it's still magic. There's still a possibility.
And a lot of people don't want to see the box, even if they see it.
A lot of people don't want to.
I could have been wrong.
Look at it. Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, you weren't wrong.
Yeah, I think that's what Epstein is. I think that's what a lot of it is you're being forced to look at it. Or you think the other person, you're going to out, you know, the other team, and instead you're looking in a mirror. You know?
Something on Epstein, since you brought it up. You sent me something about the craziest email about Epstein.
I don't even remember now.
Huh?
I don't even remember now. I'll have to go.
It was from Flagrant Clips.
Okay.
Their podcast. But I think, stepping back once again, looking at the big picture, the craziest thing that nobody talks about, because everyone talks about this guy is in the Epstein files. This guy did this. This guy, this girl, this woman. You know, that's what it's about, right? But the craziest thing is that you have this head of state, this assistant to a president, this person who's in charge of a department that has a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the problem is, they want to do something for the country. They want to get out of trouble. They want to, whatever. They go to Epstein and email him and say, hey, I need help with this. Can you help me fix this problem? Why would they have teams of, they have lawyers out the wazoo, right? But they can also print money. They could go to anyone. They could go to think tanks. They could go to, you know, giant law firms and pay them millions of dollars to help them fix this problem, to broker things between state departments and other entities. But they go to this dude and
that's
they say,
the word that you just said, it, to be brokered, which means there has to be leverage, a contract,
leverage and power. Why would that's the biggest
and
crazy
value
thing.
being exchanged?
No one asks, why would you go to this dude to fix this problem between these two countries instead of going to this think tank that works for this country or this group that could broker it and could say, you know, it doesn't,
because our world runs on blackmail, not on money.
Yeah, that's the you know, if you're intelligent, you can say that, but you have to realize that, and that's why no one's talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why no one's like, hey, the
Point.
Secretary of State wanted to fix this, and he asked for a meeting with you know, the head of the CIA and this person to work this out, and can we get, and then he went to this guy instead of going to the Secretary of State, instead of going to the, you know, the head of the security, what's it called, with Tulsi Gabbard, where she, you know,
The DOJ or the DHS.
Well, the person that oversees all the intelligence offices. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you go to them? Why, you know, you go to this dude that is basically, you're admitting he has the power that your own government doesn't to fix the issue, and then they get paid tons and tons of money.
Well, also, Sean, to our point of earlier conversation, it's a private entity, not the government. So you can get done with private entities. Sorry, my dogs are going nuts. That you can't as a government. There are things governments can't or aren't allowed, aren't supposed to do. But as a private entity, well, you could do it.
You know what Chase did, right? Chase Bank?
No, I haven't heard the latest.
So they got in trouble. And they wrote him an email. They said, hey, it may have been Jamie Dimon, it was the head of Chase Bank. And they said, hey, we're in trouble. Or may have been JP Morgan. Said, we have Chase Bank case, but we're in trouble. They're coming after us we did this bad stuff. Can you fix this? Why wouldn't they go to a giant law firm somewhere?
Right.
But they would.
They already have on retainer.
Yeah, so they go to him. He comes back. He goes, hey, I talked to the Department of Justice for the federal government. They want to give you a $45 million fine. He said 45.
And so much for him, and so much
$25 million to him. Half of the fine. $25 million to him, and it was like $15 million to someone else.
Yeah.
And they like, oh, cool, under $100 million. They wanted to hit us for like, you know, $1 billion. Thank you. But why was he able to do that? How could he do that? Why is he allowed to? He doesn't have a law degree. He doesn't have he's not.
No, they said he is. They said he's an attorney.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. That
For
he actually,
in DC or what? Because you got to
I
be in
don't know
certain
where,
states,
but I heard that he is an attorney.
but you have to be licensed in certain states, and he would have to be licensed wherever he did
He
a.
might be. Yeah.
So that's weird.
Or maybe Chase is out of New York, that would make sense with Wall Street and all that. So then he could represent them in that situation.
But
Not
that's
that we think any of these people give a shit about doing something legally. Let's be
legally,
real
yeah.
honest. I mean,
But yeah,
they're
that's to me that's like the biggest thing is that you're admitting that he had the power to do things your own government couldn't do, or that the normal system couldn't do, and you have to ask why. And you know why, but also anything that needed to be done with Israel, everybody went to him.
well, when you're wasn't his main funder Wexner, and who turned over, some old guy turned over all his like money and funds to Epstein. Was that
Yeah,
Wexner?
I think Webster, he was deposed, and he was like, "Man, that guy really got me. I'm a nice old guy. It was dumb. That's how I became super rich, one of the richest guys in the world, because I'm so dumb." If you guys would have met him, you would be surprised. He's a pretty slick guy. It was terrible. It was so bad. And his lawyer,
His attorney
threatened to kill him.
and threatened to kill him. Yeah,
That was insane. A lawyer doesn't do that. That's not like that's your dumb friend who's like, that's a terrorist threat, dude. You can't say that. Even in private, like if you say it to me, I could have you arrested. It's like, you don't say that. And a lawyer is going to say that by a microphone. I'll kill you if you answer another question with more than 5 words.
It's all. I just think that's where more and more of it. It's just all a show.
Speaking of a show, we're going to go back to Canada for a minute.
Yes,
I was watching the hockey thing, and there's a lot of things like reactions, like Canadian streamers. Already, these are not big paid shills, right? These are, little, and they're even Canadian streamers.
okay.
And they're all sitting there ready, right? And you know what they're calling?
What?
Team USA? Team ISA.
Oh, Israel.
Israeli States of America.
Wow. When every other country can see it and say it, but you're not allowed to.
Yeah. Well, then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about every other country. If you can make it illegal that we say it's illegal, we'll say it, because we run shit.
Well, unlike that crazy interview Tucker did with Huckabee.
Huckabee, yeah.
They tried to get it taken down, and Huckabee literally said, Tucker says, well, like on the flag for Israel, it shows like mostly most of the Middle East, including Iran, and I think Turkey, Syria. I can't remember all the countries.
Turkey's our new enemy now, right?
And he said, he goes, do you think that's right or biblical? Are you saying that they should have that land? He goes, well, I'd be fine with them taking it all. That's what Huckabee said.
Yeah, he said a lot of crazy shit.
Some crazy shit.
He seemed like a nice.
But is that because, so like I live in the South, and there's these Bible thumping.
Isn't his daughter your governor?
Yes, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And a lot of well-intended Christian people have been indoctrinated and believe this whole Israel first thing because they think that it is a Christian point of view. And that's where I'm just like, is he just a confused old man who really thinks?
I don't know, but I know Ted Cruz.
Ted
Cruz, I believe 100%, 100% that he believes it, 1,000%. He believes it. The only reason that America has prospered as much as we have is because we've blessed Israel.
Because we've supported Israel.
Yep, and it's fear that if we don't, it'll fall apart. We are the greatest country in the world.
That will be smited by God if we don't support.
We're on the right side, and if we're on the wrong side, bad stuff's going to happen.
Well, there's some bad stuff happening. So
look at England. They've made Israel. They've done everything for it. Look at how bad shit is there. So I think that
Well, at
Kinda
least they're arresting people for
that
Epstein.
throws that idea out the window.
But yeah, I don't know. Where do we go from here? What do you think is going to be, or do you have any idea about what Trump's going to be mentioning, talking tonight about at the State of the Union? Will he release something new? Will it be the same talking points? What do you think?
I think it'll be a lot of, we're doing so great, money, money, money. The Dow is over 50,000. I think it's going to be that kind of line of stuff. I think it's going to be to kind of, you don't know how good things are because the media is terrible. Everyone hates me. Everyone hates us. Everyone hates you. But things are great, and I'm doing getting everything done. Iran's bad. North Korea's bad. I'm fixing the wars, making peace. I'm making peace, but we're about to go to war with Mexico. About to go to war with Iran. Turkey's looking a little suspicious. Israel told me, and they're our greatest ally. Even though Turkey's been our fucking NATO ally and helped us through everything with the fucking Middle East. The aliens are also real. So let's worry about that. There's, something I thought silly because what's the Marjorie Taylor Greene's buddy who was Trump nominated him and then he got kicked out. Now he's out of government.
Oh,
Florida guy. He's a
you're
news
not
anchor now.
talking about the Florida governor. Is he still in?
No, yeah, he's still a governor. He's doing
I wonder
fine.
if you're talking about
Matt Gaetz. I'm talking about Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, Matt Gaetz was like Marjorie Taylor Greene, male Marjorie Taylor Greene. It was them. They were the Batman and Robin
Dynamic duo.
Yeah. So, but he was congressman. This guy. Now he's a news anchor for Newsmax, and he's interviewing this congressman who said there is a real alien base under the ocean. That he has been privy to it. He knows about it. Blah blah blah, and all the stuff that only congressmen would know. But he was a congressman. Like it's like, you would have known.
Mm-hmm.
He was also like kind of pushing the release the alien stuff, like Massey.
Mm.
So he would have known all this stuff, and now he's acting like he's just a news anchor. But
He may have like what is it called? Like do not disclose. Like he may have had to sign some things like that once he left.
Yeah, but still, it's just it's very silly, to have him interview this guy. Like, oh, really? It's like, dude, you're the same person. You were that guy like 2 years ago. What do you? I don't know. It's weird.
That is really weird.
I think Trump said was odd.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Yes, an NDA. Thank you, Tom. I'm looking forward to it.
Because Obama said aliens are real, blah, 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 blah. And then that reporter asked him, hey, Obama said aliens are real, blah, blah, blah. Is that true? And he goes, well.
That was classified.
You shouldn't be talking about the classified stuff, which is basically saying, yep.
Yeah. But he didn't say it. Obama said it. So now they can go after him. Hey, before we wrap up, I want to make sure everybody checks out our friends and your project. I think you're partnered on this too. So the Meme Asylum, they are in voting phase, cycle 4, I think that says. And I believe it's 1 day, 22 hours and 53 minutes. And some interesting memes to go vote on. So go be a part of Meme Asylum and check that out. And they have a great Telegram group with a strong community as well. It's kind of fun. There's a lot of people with great humor in there and pretty talented. So,
Y'all.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else before we go?
No, that's about it. You guys take care. And really love you.
Love you. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be on tomorrow. I don't know. I'll see you later. But I'll see you Thursday morning for sure on WBRT and Sean, this guy. All right.
Check us out there.
Thanks. Bye.